John, I want to hear your thoughts on the older gay community today. What would you think about that? What would be your comments on that?
Well, I've thought about this, and I have a unique perspective right now, as my parents are both moving into the final innings of their life, and they're aging, and they need some help and they need some assistance now. And I happen to be one of 4 children. So they have a support network that's there for them. Quite often in the gay community, there are no children. Obviously, in the older generation, some gay men have married women and do have a family. And it's not unique. This isn't uniquely a gay situation. Heterosexual, straight people sometimes don't have children or don't have a family network, and they also can be faced with not having a support system. Percentage-wise, I would speculate that it's more prevalent in the gay community, just because having children is not as common as it is for straight couples. And so what happens is, as people need help and as people need assistance, they find themselves isolated and without a community to support them. Certainly, there's organizations out there like SAGE that provides lots of services for the aging community. But it's really common, and I've seen it because we're in a couple groups, front runners and walkers. And I often hear stories of people that used to be members for a long time, but they don't come anymore because we eventually all get to the point where we can't walk for 60 minutes at a really fast pace. And I just wonder, as a community, how we can be better and we can be more supportive, and we can make sure they've got food, make sure they're getting the medicine that they need, make sure they're getting to the appointments that they need because they might not be able to drive anymore. And I think it's a real issue and concern and fear for gay, transgender men and women who face the possibility of a lonely end stage of their life. And I think it's something we all need to be conscious of and make sure we don't let our community, elderly community, fall through the cracks. We need to be there for them.
I think for us older generation, especially if we don't have a partner or we don't have a support system, it's scary for us. It's very scary. How am I going to live? How am I going to survive? And even some of our older gay men that have families and children, some of them have disowned them.
Yeah.
So they're back to as if they're single again. So there's individuals that have that story gone as well. But I think John's comment about being unique is unique in the sense that it says, let's don't forget the older generation.
Right.
Let's make sure that they're taken care of when they don't have family that they can support them. I think that's a good question.
Yeah, and I also meant unique from the perspective of I'm currently dealing with care of aging parents. So in this very moment of my life, I'm also assessing where am I going to be in 30, 35, 40 years, because I see what happens and I see what the needs are. And I see that self-care becomes impossible in your late 80s and 90s, as it is for my parents. And so what are the options for us as the gay community as we reach that age?
And I think the situation for me that I find works really well for me is partner with a younger person so that he can take care of you and your last stages of your death. So my recommendation to all of you out there, find him at least 20 years younger.